All right, well, welcome to today's podcast. I'm joined here with Berrie van Niekerk and Dion Boertes. They work for the company African Safari Films. Guys, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So today's pretty much we're going to go through the ins and outs of a cameraman in the field. A couple of questions that we've received that guys would like to know. What to expect when you have a cameraman in camp. What does a cameraman do? A few of their good experiences that they've had in the field. So we'll start with you, Berrie. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Born and raised here in Bloemfontein myself. After school did a couple of stuff, keeping myself busy, went working abroad a little bit, came back and then got involved in the hunting industry or the filming industry. Been basically hunting all my life, but nothing really professional. And then joined the company, when was it, November 2021. And after the first hunt, I was hooked.
So you've done now 4 full seasons
For the company, yes.
as a cameraman. You enjoy it?
Yeah, loving it. Loving it.
You've been a bit of everywhere.
Get to travel and get to see something different every season.
Lekker, man, lekker. And Dion?
Yeah, well, after school, basically started working on the farm for my dad, and got the opportunity to go to the veld in 2022 November, with Morgan himself. And after that first hunt, do I want to do it, don't I want to do it? And I got the opportunity the next year in March, and the bug bit me. And I enjoy doing it. I love what I do, and I don't think I'll change it for anything else.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, you're a young camera guy. You've done 3 full seasons now. You've also traveled quite a bit. I mean, these are the 2 main cameramen that you guys will see taking probably 90% of the footage out there. So, this is the main team. We've got, 5 other guys. We've got all the editors, the social media people, which nobody ever gets to see. But I thought this would be a good opportunity to introduce a part of the team and introduce the podcast. So this is where we're starting out.
Sounds like a blast.
Yeah.
So you guys arrive in camp with the clients. Let's talk about what does a typical day look like as a cameraman. The stuff that the people don't see. When you get up, how you prepare. What do you do, Berrie?
Well, obviously the first thing is, if we're talking about, like you say now, day of arrival. So the main thing is my prep the day before would have been done. Make sure all of my electronics that I would assume that I'm going to be using on the arrival day would be set, ready and charged. So obviously when we say arrival day, we're not necessarily going hunting on that day. So we'll meet up with a client somewhere either at the airport, or we'll meet up with the outfit or the PH and we'll drive to the property either with the clients or arriving before the clients. So when we're looking at an actual official hunting day, in my first thing that I would do is obviously, again, check everything that I'd used yesterday is fully charged, and then try and assume what it is that's going to happen today. Are we going to be sitting in a blind? So I make sure I have tripods, microphones, anything that I assume I might have. And then I make sure my my go bag for the day is packed up, and I've got a bunch of extra batteries in there, the drones in there, flashlights, microphones, stuff like that. And then basically that obviously happens before the clients and the PHs wake up for breakfast or coffee, and then meet up with them once they come out for coffee, and then we start the day from there. Normally we don't really know what it is that's going to happen during the day. We just tag along basically.
And what a lot of people don't see for a camera guy is, when the client goes for a nap at lunchtime, you guys are setting up action cameras, doing time lapses. Guys are having dinner, having drinks. You're still operating behind the equipment. When everyone's done, you need to do your backups.
Yeah.
So,
At night time.
Yeah, so everybody's now finished dinner. You've done all your filming, you've got all your B-roll. Now you need to whip out your computer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everyone goes to bed and we continue grafting.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that the clients actually don't see and PHs don't even know of unless you're sharing a room with a PH. But there's a lot of work that goes in after hours where everybody's in bed and resting up for tomorrow, where we still have to be backing up and working to be prepared for tomorrow. Yeah.
That's a lot of work. And I think it goes quite unnoticed as well by everybody around you. Because when you guys go through your training, we're taught to blend into your background. A cameraman mustn't be seen. He mustn't be heard. He must be invisible there at the back. Not to disturb the hunt, but not just the hunt. You don't want to be in somebody's face in camp either. So you're there in the corner, you're getting your shots, you're using your zoom. But a lot of people don't get to see everything that we do behind the scenes. We're working 24/7 the whole day. We just have that little bit of sleep at night.
Yeah.
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 No, it's true. I mean, it is a very, can I say, don't know what the exact wording is, but a very thankless job.
Yeah.
In terms of the extra prep that goes into it. I mean, everyone is always very, very appreciative of the actual final work and stuff like that. But there's a lot of stuff that a lot of people, if you look at the videos on YouTube, I mean, a 1 hour, 45-minute video on YouTube might have been 6-7 months in the making just to make 40 minutes of entertainment. So there's a lot of stuff that happens and goes on that a lot of people don't actually get to see, unless you're actually on a hunt. I mean, then once you have a cameraman with you in the field, then you start to realize that it's not just all about getting the impact shot. Then the clients realize how much actual work there is that gets put in.
Yeah. Well, especially your clients that have come and had their second movie. A first-time client who gets a cameraman to come in, he might not notice these things because he's so focused on everything that he's doing for the first time. He's absorbing all this African nature, what we have to offer. But I think the second time a guy comes, he kind of realizes what's going on behind the scenes, what's happening with the camp staff, and yeah. So a lot of times in this business, the guys have a lot of back-on-back safaris, especially if you go to Tanzania, Zambia, these places where they have a season, a specific season, June, July, they push through till November. So generally those outfitters, they book back on back. Their dates need to work flawlessly. And then they book us to come in and film portion of the season or an entire season. So you guys have both been away for a long time. This year you did how long in one stint in Zambia?
I did 89 days in Zambia, and then directly after that again another 9 days up in Zululand. So basically 108 days away from home, all in one.
It's a long time. I mean, you've got a family, so how do you balance? I mean, you can't have a family life when you've gone that long. I mean, you guys have Wi-Fi in camp. You do video calls. How do you?
Yeah, luckily, I mean, in today's, I would not want to be in this situation 20 years ago, 10 years ago when there wasn't Wi-Fi. Luckily now, the Zambia camp had full-on Starlink. So, I mean, you don't have to, the whole camp was run by solar. So from the moment that you wake up till the moment you go to bed, if you're in camp, you've got communication. So, I mean, I'm very lucky, very fortunate with the fact that my wife, she understands the situation, so she knows that when I'm in camp, she can reach me, but she knows every morning when I send her a message just to say good morning to her, she knows that I tell her that we're going to go out, and she knows she might only hear from me again later this evening, not even the afternoon. It is a very big challenge. It's difficult I think the most difficult part of it is if something back home happens, something that's out of not even stuff that is very major, life-threatening emergencies, but just if someone back home has a bit of a bad day or a bad experience, you are completely helpless. You're sitting in the middle of nowhere. You literally can't do anything. So I mean, it's not. A lot of people sees. We get to travel all over Africa. You spend 3 months there. You spend 1 month there. A lot of people see it as a dream job, fairy tale situation. But I mean, it's you have to know both parties, your partner and yourself. You have to know what it is that you're gonna, what you're letting yourself in for. If you do take on something like this, I mean, it might happen where you get into camp. It happened with me last year before in Botswana, where we got into camp and there was something had happened with the dish, and we had no communication for I think 9 days. No one back home can get hold of you. You can't even let people know that you've arrived safely. No one knows nothing. But so there's situations like that.
It's stressful.
Yes,
I'm sure. I mean, my wife as well. When I travel, your fiance, I know she struggled in the beginning. You're a young couple, and she's not used to you being gone that long. It's tough, especially for them. They're sitting at home, doing their daily stuff, their normal routine, and no messages.
There's no message coming through.
Yeah, that can be very stressful. I mean, you have to have a woman that's quite strong.
Yeah.
You're lucky now because your fiance.
I just wanted to say she recently joined the company, and she's, in a way, she's lucky to learn more about what we do and why we do what we do and why we love what we do. And I'm lucky to have your wife, Anke, with her in the office, and she's been through it for many years with you. And she helped with the motivation of, okay, just hold on, he's going to come back. I know it's difficult. It was difficult for myself as well, especially with being used to having communication throughout the whole day. Now you're only sitting with maybe 4 hours of communication back home. And not just with my fiance, with family members. I mean, my brother, we talk all the time, and if you don't have that communication with them, it takes a toll on you mentally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the wives have to understand we have an extensive off-season as well. So
yeah, you got to look at the pros and the cons. Yes, you're away for a long time, but then you are also you're also home for a decent amount of time.
Yeah, no, it's two extreme situations.
Yeah.
You're at home all the time, and then you in each other's faces.
100%.
Then you're away, and then there's complaining again.
The main challenge comes in when something happens back home, because especially when you're up in remote, or when I say now remote Africa, I would say where we've been, Tanzania, Zambia. Botswana is not. I mean, Botswana is vast, but to get back to South Africa it's not as logistically it's not as difficult. I mean, you can drive within a day anywhere from in Botswana. You can drive within a day and you're in South Africa. When something happens and you're in Zambia, Tanzania, I mean, you first have to organize a charter flight, then organize a flight, an international flight, and then only get home from there. So I mean, it might take you 2 days to actually get home.
That's also a stressful thought. I mean, I know for me personally, I went to Tanzania last year and this year, and being in the middle of the bush, I got a wife with 2 young kids, and I'm always nervous. What's happening back home? You could get into a car accident. There could be many different things.
But I mean, another thing that has helped a lot compared to last year to this year is now, like I said, Zambia now had Starlink in camp. I had an incident in Zimbabwe where the PH had Starlink on the truck. So once you drive out of camp, you're always connected. So there's no longer that possibility of a 12 or a 15-hour straight stretch with no communication. Yeah. At least if you're at the truck in that situation, there's communication. And now with the whole eSIMs on your phones, that really helps a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, even though you are in dark Africa, there are still spots, if you have an eSIM, that you will still get reception.
Yeah.
So at least if someone needs to get a hold of you, there's a possibility. Might not always be, but there is a...
Well, I mean, that's a good tip for hunters as well. I found that app, it's called Roamless.
Mm.
You know, we're not sponsored by them or anything, but this Roamless app is fantastic. It's just an electronic SIM that you activate in your phone, and when you get on the plane and you leave your country, you deactivate yours and you reactivate this one, and you load $20 on it. It's quite cheap.
Yeah.
You land in Tanzania, you got signal until you're in the bush.
And it helps a lot with communication with your PH or your outfitter that needs to pick you up at the airport when you are in a foreign country.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine for a client as well. You know, the client gets stuck in customs. He has an issue. The PH is waiting. Now you got communication. You can talk. So yeah, I mean, that's something that's a nice tip for everybody, not just for us as cameramen, but hunters, anybody traveling. You other PHs as well. I mean, you guys look into it. It's a fantastic option if you travel abroad.
Yeah, I mean, getting back to your first, the topic, constant communication makes it a lot easier to be able to go away. I mean, I would not consider going to Zambia for even a 21-day hunt if I knew before departure that it's going to be 21 days off-grid, no communication whatsoever. I won't. I mean, I've got responsibilities at home. I need to know what is happening at home. Don't need to know, obviously, minute by minute, play by play, but I mean, you need to have people know exactly where you are.
No, communication is important. I mean, they worry about our safety, so just a quick check-in.
Yeah.
It's good. Another question we get a lot is, what equipment do you guys use? So I know for me personally, I have a Panasonic 4K. It's a X2000 is the model. I have a DJI Avata FPV drone. I have a Canon mirrorless camera, which is that one over there filming. I mean, that takes good videos, photos. So I mean, the equipment, it's a lot to carry with, and then you've got your action cameras. What do you use?
So basically, I also run a Panasonic. It is a X20. It's a little bit bigger than the X2000 that you have. I prefer using a little bit of a bigger camera because I find it's a little bit more stable during...
well, you're a big guy, so...
No, I just find that it's a lot more stable with that, and because I don't use the shoulder brace, these smaller cameras, I mean, the quality is exactly the same. I just handle that one a little bit better. And then obviously we all have different drones. I've got the DJI Air 2S, and I have the Mini 3, and then I use a bunch of GoPros and action cameras mixed in between just for a little bit of B-roll and so on and so forth. Okay.
And your gear list?
I'm basically the same as yours. I also have the X2000 Panasonic, and then I have the DJI Mini 3 drone, and then I have a small little action camera called the Osmo Pocket, which comes in very handy, especially with rainy weather, because you can't always put your camera through rough terrain weather, especially with rain. It's not going to hold. So if you can't use your camera, that Osmo Action helps a lot with doing quick shots that you can't do with your camera in that specific time. So yeah, it's basically all I run, and then I do have my DJI mics as well, the minis. Okay. So it helps a lot with audio, especially if you are a bit further away and the PH is talking to the client. You pick up that little bit extra audio that helps a lot.
Yeah. But I mean, with the amount of gear that we have, you know, traveling, packing, because a lot of times these charter planes, you're limited on amount of luggage, weight of luggage,
size of bag.
The guys, the charter planes, they don't like you coming with 2 suitcases and a carry-on. You know, it's one suitcase in a carry-on, and you got to cram all the gear, chargers, cables, laptop, hard drives, clothing, boots. So streamlining your setup, it takes some time as well.
Yeah, I think that's why both of us run with a normal, or not a normal, but a
Basic.
4K video camera instead of having to deal with a mirrorless camera. Because I mean, at least we have the luxury. You only have one lens, do it all. Where the guys who run with the mirrorless cameras, they have to pack extra lenses. I mean, compared to my gear, if you go and pack a camera body and 3 lenses, it's more than double the weight that my camera, my drone is.
Yeah.
And I mean, when it comes to, like you say now, with the weather and the rain, I would be more willing to put the video camera through bad weather than one of those mirrorless cameras. I mean,
Replacing a mirrorless is a lot more expensive than replacing a
yeah, and
camcorder.
I don't know about the replacing, because I've never looked at the price. I mean, I know the price is very vast. I mean, our cameras are expensive as well. But I mean, I just look at what I have put my camera through this year. If I had to put that R5 of Morgan through that, it wouldn't have seen 4 or 5 months. It would have been finished. I just think that our video cameras are a little bit more bulletproof. I like using the term. Mine, it's bulletproof. I mean, it's been through quite a lot, and it still runs perfect.
Yeah. The problem as well, filming with a mirrorless camera, is your zoom. You know, if you've got to go and zoom out, you know, a lot of times you'll see the camera go stop. It's not smooth like the buttons that we press, and I see that in some of the videos. Look, the quality of those cameras and the other production companies out there that film solely on those, the quality's, I mean, it's perfection. It's great.
I think it just takes, I mean, it's the same as if one of us had to move over to it. Yes, it's a learning curve. It's because you're going to be using a completely different setup. So, I mean, you just have to get used to it and learn it. And
no, we just stick to the old school ways. You know, the tried and true method of what worked before still works today. Just the quality of the cameras have changed.
yeah.
Yeah. And we briefly touched on, you know, backing up your footage at night. Have you guys ever had an instance where you've lost footage? You know, your hard drive went down, or you forgot to back something up? Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, of course. You can't say no. You
No,
can't say never.
it happens. I think Berrie had a little bit of worse problem than me. I've had it before where while I'm recording, the camera throws out an error, and you have to scramble in that moment where something's happening to try and recover something that you hope you can recover. Luckily, some of it was recoverable, and it was all right. Backing up, I'm personally going to say this, I'm not the best at it.
We know.
But it has happened where I haven't backed up stuff correctly, and the editors had the footage and I had to resend stuff to them. Luckily, I still had it, but I had to resend it to them so they can continue with the project.
Well, that's why the company has a specific policy on when you do your backups. So each cameraman has his own personal hard drive. You have a company hard drive, and then you have your SD card in the camera. Never delete your SD card.
Yeah.
Rather swap out your SD card. Do double backups on your hard drives, and then you give the one to the office backs it up, gives it to the editor. You've got a backup, and you've got a backup to the backup on your card. So it's not a train smash if you forget something. It's just an inconvenience at the end of the day.
Yeah, you make more work for the editor basically, and for yourself.
But the company's had it before, where a whole hunt on a drive many years ago in the mail, the drive gets busted up. The whole hunt's gone, and there's no backup, and you have to refund the client $3,000-4,000. It's happened before. What happened with you?
No, I think I've had the whole spiel, except I've been very, so as if my knowledge can save me. I don't think I've ever forgotten to back up something, but I do know that I've had incidents in the bush where you press record, you think you've got everything sorted, and as soon as you stop the recording, arrow on your screen pops up and says recover footage. So like Dion says, now you're scrambling, trying to recover it right there in the bush. And then something happened with the card was corrupted or something, the file got corrupted, and only half of the actual clip was recoverable. So I mean, that was a bad one, because that was a pretty important part of the hunt. And then I've had hard drives physically cease working, where it doesn't get picked up by any of the computers, not Apple's, not Microsoft computers, nothing picks it up. I've had where half of the footage then gets corrupted on the hard drive, where half of the hunt goes completely missing. I've been lucky where one of the hunts have been recoverable. I've been not so lucky where some of them have not been recoverable. But I mean, at the end of the day, we are working with technology. You are putting these machines through stuff that, yes, they were built to do these things, but we are pushing them in excess of what they were designed to do.
Okay.
I mean, I just look at, if you just take our camera batteries, for example, I mean, a normal battery would last you say you can do 2 days on a battery when it was new, and now that battery won't even last you 5-6 hours. But it's because we use them so excessively. And when it comes to the footage, I think that just happens with regards to especially the hard drives. The drives just... They get overworked. I mean,
and it's not like it's our fault. You know,
No,
a lot of people would say, "Oh, that's unprofessional." But I mean, it's the equipment. And we try keep our equipment as fresh as possible. I mean, our video cameras, your cameras that you like, the bigger ones, they tend to last a little bit longer than the smaller ones. But I've had it with the Panasonics, the Sonys, the Canons, having to replace a camera every year.
yeah.
So you're looking at 7 cameramen, $2,000 a camera, 7 cameras.
Yeah, I mean, I think what a lot of people must just take into consideration when people are saying it might be unprofessional, as your home hard drive stays either at your desk or it goes into your laptop bag and then drives from home to work and back again. Where my hard drive goes from home to the airport, flies wherever into Africa, then spends how many times or how many minutes, hours on an unpaved dirt road driving through the bundus.
No, you can't compare the two.
I mean, I know what my body feels like after a day just driving from the normal dirt airstrip into camp. I mean, my body is bush. Never mind what something delicate like electronic might go through. I mean, we try and buy always the best and the top of the range stuff that you can. But like I said, at the end of the day, you're dealing with technology.
You don't know when it's going to fail.
You're dealing with something that can break at any moment in time.
It happens, and it's unfortunate. And yes, we are responsible, but in a situation like that, I don't think somebody can be pissed off if one clip goes missing.
Yes.
Well, it depends. I mean, is it an impact shot clip
Yes,
or an
yes.
elephant? I mean,
I think it runs from it goes between situation to situation. Like that one hunt that we had lost half of the footage. I mean, that was the guy's first time in Africa. Don't know whether or not he will be coming back again. So yes, he was a little bit bleak about that. But another guy whose hunt got completely lost, he accepted it. He understood. So I think you look at situation to situation. Some people are a little bit more understanding than others.
yeah. And I mean, like you said, we try hard drives, or we're buying hard drives every year. 4 terabyte, 5 terabyte times 10, 11, 12 of them a year. And trying to keep the freshest ones out there for you guys to do your backup. So it's not like we did something wrong, but it does happen.
No, 100%.
So with you guys traveling all over Africa, I mean, you've been to Zambia, Tanzania, Botswana, South Africa. You've also been to most of those countries. what is a country that's on your wish list and an animal that you would like to film?
You can go first. Mine's quick.
Okay, so I haven't been to Zambia yet. I would love to go to Zambia to just experience a bit different type of terrain. As we all know, I've been to Tanzania, but I think Zambia has something different to offer with people and animals and stuff like that. But my favorite animal or a animal that I would like to hunt is actually in Tanzania, and it will be a Lister kudu. That is one of the most prettiest animals I've ever seen.
Okay. Well, you might get the opportunity next year. We've got a few Maasai land hunts coming up. So, yeah, I hope you get to do that.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And you?
Cameroon, Lord Derby Eland, Ethiopia, Mount Nyala.
That's a good one.
Those are the two.
That's very
I'm
good.
glad you guys are still young enough to do that stuff. This body will not be able to take all of that.
Those are my two top ones.
All right.
That's a very good one, especially Cameroon.
Like I say, mine's easy. I'll give you my left foot to go there.
So in your opinions, what is a must-have skill for a cameraman? I'm not talking about the abilities of a cameraman to film a hunt properly. Another type of skill that a cameraman should have.
People skills. You definitely need to know how to work with people and different types of people, especially when it comes to your outfitters and your clients, and even your PHs. Because I mean, you do long days with your PHs and your client. You're in the veld, and they do get grumpy, and you do get grumpy, and you need to know how to control that and how to control everybody around the situation, not to screw up. Because if you screw up, you can lose clients.
Yeah. No, people skills is very, very important.
I mean, I'll just add on to when you say you got to learn to deal with people, you have to be able to adapt very quickly. Because I mean, when we are away for 3 months, you're not 3 months. Yes, you're 3 months with the same PH and you're 3 months with the same outfitter, but you're with different clients every time. You need to be able to swing and adapt very quickly between this client's type of personality to the next morning onto a different client's personality. You can't think that the way that you've been acting and carrying yourself is going to get accepted by the next client. So you need to be able to very quickly read and adapt to each different client. If we talk about people skills, then I would say that would be very, very important. And then maybe just, if I can put it like that, just kind of try and know your place,
Yeah.
Try and not I mean, like we said, we know that cameramen are supposed to be not heard and not seen. You must try and not take the spotlight away from the actual situation. I mean, it's very difficult, especially when it comes to something that you've been excited yourself to be a part of. I mean, it's easy for me to say now, but I don't know how I'll be able to react when I finally get to hunt the Lord Derby or something. So it's important to know that it's not about you. It's about the client at the end of the day.
I mean, I don't know if this is a necessary skill to have, but you touched on knowing your place, but understanding the safari industry, how a hunt works, the do's and don'ts. Don't say this. That's very important. You can only get that with experience, and that's why training is so important. I mean, all of you have been with me for your first hunt, and that learning. You can't say this word. You can't say that word. There's a couple of things, but understanding that about the hunting industry is, to me, quite important. Besides just being quiet and pulling back. And I mean, on the topic of training, when we do train, and I've always, not always, I have had this philosophy for a while now, is I don't like a cameraman being trained to edit. And the reason we in the company do this is we've had brilliant cameramen work for us in the past, great guys. Then you teach them to edit because you want to pick up the slack a little bit in the editing season at the end of the year for the promos and all of that. And you teach him the skill on how to edit. Now this guy's got all the knowledge about a company. He's worked for you, he's stayed along with you, he's filmed for you, he's edited for you. And we've had quite a few cameramen, we won't mention names, but they've taken clients, they've taken outfitters and started their own company. So trust is a difficult thing in this business as well. But I think the way we've structured our company now, I trust everybody. I give other incentives, which we won't get into too many details about, for the guys not to leave. You don't have to start your own company. You can grow within the company. But do you think a cameraman should know how to edit, a freelance cameraman? I mean, you guys work for the company now. But if there's a freelance out there and he's listening to this, wanting to pick up some tips and tricks from camera guys.
My personal opinion is yes. The only reason why I would say that it's important for a cameraman to know and know how to edit is, when it comes to filming a shot, in your mind as the cameraman, you think, oh, this would look brilliant. But then when it comes to the editing room, the editor now says, this clip that you did, this is useless, don't do this again. At least if you know how a video is structured, because just looking at a hunting video doesn't give you any idea of how a video is structured and built and put together.
So you think that the editing process will teach you how to become a better cameraman?
I'd not necessarily be a better cameraman, but it'll definitely be helpful in terms of, I think, creativity.
I can understand that.
I would say it's more based on creativity, because I feel that if you get the opportunity to do, it's happened with myself. When I get the opportunity to edit something and it wasn't filmed by myself, I get myself a lot of times when I look at one clip, I was like, okay, I like the way that the cameraman had filmed this. And then in my mind, I'm already thinking, the next clip should look like this. But then the cameraman never filmed a clip like I'm thinking of what would fit in there. But at least now that I have a little bit of editing experience or experience of putting a video together, it has helped me in my filming in a way that I can think of. I'm hoping that the editor next sees it, if I film this sequence, that it must flow into that sequence over there. So it's a little bit of a difficult thing if you're not editing it yourself, but it's still, I think it gives the cameraman the opportunity to be a little bit more creative.
Okay.
I have to say I agree on Berrie with that. And this is a personal thing that I've realized with myself. You taught me how to edit a little bit and do things. And if I haven't sat down with some of my own footage, at night, yes, you do your backups and you look at your footage and you know, okay, I should have rather focused more on that. But once you put it in the editing system and you are busy putting something together,
you realize your
mistakes and you see where you made your mistakes. And that helps you as a cameraman to perform better and get better footage.
Yeah. Look, I don't mind that you guys edit, because our company is structured completely different to other video productions out there. But I know for a fact a lot of other companies, they do not like you. You're a cameraman, you're an editor. I'll pay you for this, I'll pay you for that. But that's a company owner problem. It's a trust issue. But I agree completely. Working on your own footage teaches you can see what you did wrong. If I edit your video and you made a mistake, I try and use B-roll over here, fill it up and smooth it out. And when you get to witness the end product, you didn't even think about the mistake because it's not there anymore. You didn't get to see it.
Yeah.
So you're just going to do it again.
Exactly. So I do agree. It makes you more versatile for the company, and it makes you a better cameraman. Yeah. So the most favorite country you've hunted? All right.
Okay.
Your best experience hunting. So it could be a charge, a tip, You know,
Charge is not a good experience.
charges are fantastic on camera, Barry. And your worst experience. Something that, was just down in the dumps. Well, let's start with Mr. Dean over here. Favorite country?
Okay, where I've been, I'll definitely say Tanzania, because it's remote. The hunting is something that I don't think you'll get somewhere else. Tanzania is Tanzania. If you go there, it is something that you will remember for the rest of your life. It's tough, it's hard, and you have to be mentally prepared to do it.
Okay.
So definitely my favorite place for hunting.
All right.
Best experience, I would say, okay, well, it was my first and my only elephant I ever hunted. It was a very nice hunt, and it was in Namibia in the Caprivi. But it was definitely the clients, the PHs, the outfitter, everything together made that elephant so special for myself, even though it was my first one. It was something that I will also remember for the rest of my life. Okay. It was a very special moment in my life.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
And the worst thing that's happened to you on a safari?
This one it's a bit sensitive. I hunted, and we had one of our other cameramen with us in camp, but we had some clients that was a little bit, how do you say it? They got a little bit out of hand with booze, and yeah, they took it a little bit too far. And I know it's just a bunch of buddies coming together and having a good time and hunting, but they took it a little bit too far, and there was some stuff that happened between friends that was a little bit, for me as the cameraman, I was a little bit disgusted to see it myself. So I have to say that was definitely my worst experience with, and you would think it should be like with a camera or with a PH or something, but unfortunately for me it was clients that made it not fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, in this business you get to see a bit of everything. Trust me, I've been filming since 2005 and been in the hunting industry my whole life, and there's no way I'm allowed to tell stories on camera about what I've seen.
Yeah.
And your favorite country?
Yeah, it's difficult. But I think I'm going to agree with Dion. If someone had to tell me today, pick a country and nowhere else besides that, it would definitely be Tanzania. I've only been in the Selous, but I'll definitely, get a phone call tomorrow, I'll fly there, I'll go hunt there. Each country has its own uniqueness. Have a lot of good memories, fond memories of hunting elephants in Botswana and Zambia. Zambia, if I can't do Tanzania, I'll pick Zambia, but I think it's just because of the very good experience that I've had there.
Tanzania is a fantastic country. You get your Selous, then you get your Western Tanzania, you get your swamps, and your Maasai land, open plains. There's a vast difference in landscapes, hunting techniques, and people.
Yeah, so I would say definitely Tanzania and Zambia is neck on neck with each other.
Okay, cool.
I'd say that.
And your best experience? Because I know everybody, Mr. Berrie here loves to film charging animals. He's got a knack of being on hunts where the danger follows you.
Something wants to bite me.
Yeah, and you don't enjoy it, but we would all love to live for that moment.
You're more than welcome to put on my shoes for a change.
Well, I think I should just follow you.
Just walk behind them.
Yeah.
Your best experience, I think I would have to say probably, or a hunt that would stay with me, that's not a charge for a very long time, is probably my first leopard that I got to do in Tanzania. It was a very challenging hunt. We spent many days driving between baits and checking baits and setting up baits and sitting in blinds waiting for the cat to come in and just being outwitted. I think 18 days being outwitted by this cat. and we just so happened to put up a new bait in somewhere in a new area, and checked it the next day, and the PH said, well, the cat was in the tree 10 minutes after we've left, and this was, I think, 12:30. We decided right there and then the next day we'll sit. I mean, we didn't even build a blind. We just put a pop-up and we sat there, and it was only the client sitting on a chair. Me and the PH was sitting flat on our asses in the pop-up blind, and I think we were in the blind maybe for 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden...
20 minutes?
Yeah.
What time of day was this?
We shot the cat at 12:30.
Midday?
Midday.
Wow.
And I'll never forget the clip, because the client was a little bit on the deaf side, and the PH was very deaf. So I had told the client, before you shoot, you must wait until I tell you to shoot, because like I said, we weren't prepared, didn't have a tripod, so freehanding it like that. And as the cat was eating, the client said, "Can I shoot?" I said, "No, wait." And then you hear in the video, you hear the PH tell the client, "Shoot him." And the client's like, "What?" I say, "Shoot him." So yeah, I think that would definitely, I would say that would be a memory of mine. That would be definitely the top 5. It's difficult to select one particular.
Yeah. And something that was one of the worst?
I think I've actually been the most fortunate in terms of it charges is something that happens, but I wouldn't say that it's a bad. I've been very lucky when no one has gotten hurt, so I wouldn't say that I've been. Yeah, I'd say I've been very lucky. I've not had a bad experience or the worst experience. You have a difficult client here or there, and you have a difficult situations here and there, but nothing that would come to mind now, like your situation. Nothing. If someone asked me a question, what is something that you'd never want to have ever again happen to or experience again? There's nothing that really.
Look, a camera going down.
No, I mean that's just part of it, how it goes. I mean, in your mind, you're hoping that something like that never happens, but I mean, I would say that is part of the business.
So you've been quite lucky. You just got your general ups and downs, but no train smashes.
No, I wouldn't. No, I can't really say that I've had an actual. Yeah, no, I think I've been.
No, you've
I've been
quite
very
lucky then.
Very lucky in that regard. I mean, all of my clients have been. I think I'm very lucky to say the majority of the clients that I've had turned out to be friends, and you're still in contact with some of them. I've never had a client that was an asshole or something like that I would say I'd never want to be with him again. So there's something that happens in camp maybe, but I wouldn't say something that happens that would stand out and say that this was a worst experience. I think I've been very lucky in that.
You are lucky. I mean, I've had cameras go down over the years. Lucky I carry a backup camera with me. Yeah, I've had drones. I mean, we've all had drones crashing, but you have some clients that say, "Listen, drone, you must have drone," and then you crash the damn thing on day one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've had those type of things, but also I wouldn't say a situation where the hunt itself, the clients or the PHs made it terrible, but we do get to see a little bit of everything.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't say 100% your situation is worse than anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like I'm left out on that, so we're going to stop now for a smoke break, and we're going to go out, and I want to hear that story.
No problem.
Yeah, good stuff. A topic I'd like to discuss is all for these young up-and-coming cameramen in the future. A lot of guys contact, where they reach out to all the companies and they want to start freelancing or join a company. There's certain myths that go around that I've heard through outfitters. I don't want a cameraman, you guys just get in the way. You mess up the shot, the cameraman drinks too much. And I'd just like to address this myth. Use a reputable company. Don't go for the cheapest cameraman you can find. The reason I say that is there's a lot of companies out there with youngsters that just started up. They got good equipment and they got a little bit of camera knowledge, but they got no bush knowledge. They've got no people skills. And, you know, a lot of times those people, they go into the bush and they don't know how to deal with international clients, the difference between a German and an American, you know, somebody from Texas. You know, the personalities are completely different. And a lot of these youngsters, especially in South Africa, they completely cock up the industry for us. I cannot tell you how many times we've reached out to outfitters. Listen, would you guys like us to represent your company? This is what we can offer. And they have no interest in a cameraman because they've got a bad taste in their mouth. And I think a lot of this comes from, you know, and it's the same with your PH courses. You know, South Africa, the course is too short. You don't learn much. You don't get enough experience. I mean, back in the day when I did my course, I was one of the last generations that had to do your 3-year mandatory apprenticeship. You had a logbook. The guys don't want to do the apprenticeship anymore. They don't want to do the tag-alongs anymore. They just jump straight in, oh, I'm just going to start my own company, and they have no clue. And then now we have to defend ourselves to these clients, to these PHs, to these outfitters. And, you know, I just think it comes from an inexperience point with all of these youngsters that travel around and screw up the industry for us. Because there's a shit ton of video production companies out there. But there's only 5 top companies that I would say, if you want a good video production, reach out to these top 5. If you want a list of those top 5, I'll give it to you. But this is not to slander names or boost anybody else. I'm not going to mention any of that. But what do you think? I mean, you hear it quite often. Oh, geez, you're a cameraman.
Look, inexperience is definitely one of the factors that brings us down because of them, because they are unexperienced and they don't really know what they're doing. Luckily for me, I had somebody like yourself to teach me the industry and to teach me what to do and what not to do. I don't say they don't want to do it, but I don't think they have the opportunity to do it, and they think they can just start something from scratch. And unfortunately for us, they're screwing up the industry because they didn't have an opportunity to get somebody to help them or have somebody to help them.
I mean, they should just reach out and do at least a year's tag along with another company, freelancing. I would assume. I mean, that's how we always started. You reached out to me when you were still overseas, and you said, "Listen, I want to start my own company one day. I want to film hunts. I've got my own outfitter down in the Eastern Cape." And I said, "Come join us." And you ended up staying.
No, I think it's a difficult thing because now these days videography is becoming such a big part. I mean, every outfitter wants to post videos. I mean, people have started to realize the importance of filming a hunt, not necessarily to make a big YouTube video, but just to get videos and content out there, because you've got platforms like Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, which is free marketing. So a lot of the younger outfitters are getting into that rhythm of getting a lot of stuff filmed. And now I think when it comes to, if you want to say, inexperienced cameraman, it is an expensive thing to add on to a hunt. Yes, you can get it done for cheap, but the old saying comes back down, if you pay peanuts, you're going to get monkeys. So a lot of guys, they also look at it in the way that if I get a little bit less experienced cameraman, they can get away with it doing it a little bit more cheaper, and that way they can maybe shoot an extra animal while they're in Africa. If you look at it from the client's perspective, right? So now the client would rather, not all, but some clients would rather book a cameraman that charges $100 a day over 7 days, and so only pay him $700 for the video, where instead of paying $200, $300 for, I mean, some companies goes up to $1,000 a day. So a lot of clients then look at it as like, okay, but now it's a 7-day hunt at $1,000 a day, for example. I mean, that's the highest end that I personally know of. So $7,000. I mean, there's a hell of a lot of stuff that he can be shooting instead of now paying for the video. And I think where the most important thing that I would tell people, if you're interested in getting something filmed, have a look at not necessarily the price tag of the video.
What's your expectations?
Yeah, look at what you're expecting, but look at what it is that you're gonna look at the value of what it is that you're gonna get out of it. And then when you pick your production company, pick it like you pick your outfitter. You don't pick an outfitter based on the prices. You picked an outfitter because you do research in terms of how long has this production company has been in process. You look at reviews, you ask around, has anyone used it? I mean, a big thing that a lot of people do these days is just go onto Facebook, onto one of those hunting groups and say, listen, I'm going hunting and I'm thinking of using X, Y, and Z. Has anyone got any experience? I mean, you're going to get a lot of strange comments on there, but you're going to get enough comments to help you make up your mind.
Yeah.
I mean, like you say, there's 5 or 6 reputable production companies. I'd say if you look at Africa, there might be a little bit more, but if you look at South Africa, let's say 6. You just go onto the hunting group or those hunting forums and say, listen, which production companies would you recommend?
Yeah.
You are going to get every Tom, Dick, and Harry saying, I have a camera, I can do it for you for $100. But I mean, look at which names pops up most frequently. Yeah. But then don't just select it by that. Do some research.
Well, everyone's got a different price range too. I think that's where we've excelled a little bit in the industry. Because right now we've grown into the largest video production company in Africa. And I think it's because of our ethics, number one. You know, how we treat a client, an outfitter, the additional extras, everything, the whole package that we offer is completely different to what other people are doing. Most other production companies still do the old school, client just gets his movie type thing. So I think we found a nice medium of price. You know, we're not on the high end, but we're not
the cheapest.
We're not the cheapest, but we're super affordable. We've got the biggest team. We've got very good equipment. We've got a shit ton of experience. So I think that's what makes us personally stand out. But I think for the youngsters that want to get into this, a good option is a friend of mine, Altus Kotza from Over and Under Productions. He has a Safari film school. It's normally at the end of each season or early the following season. I think this one coming up is in February. And he teaches you everything filming related. No editing, that's a separate course, but he'll teach you all your settings, camera gear, difference between mirrorless and your standard camcorder. I go in and I do 2-3 days, you know, I talk about ethics and don't do this and this is what to expect. And I think that's a good starting point for somebody. Don't just jump in with a company that has no experience. Don't just start your own thing. I think go on a course, and then from there, move into a company. Do a year starting at the bottom, like an apprenticeship with a PH. You know, start somewhere at the bottom and work your way up. By the time you've built up enough gear, experience, you're going to be a much better cameraman. You're going to be a much better person for the industry. And then you're more than welcome to get on your feet and start your own thing.
Because like you say now, gear, I mean, people underestimate how expensive it is to get into this. So I mean, now you have a youngster. He's got him the opportunity to film for someone. I mean, let's say someone stuck a camera in his hand. He did well, and now he wants to go on his own. But I mean, now you have to fork out at least 100 grand for equipment. So
100,000 rand, yeah.
So a lot of guys then, I mean, there's not a lot of guys that are in the position that can just do that. So then they opt to buy a little bit of a more affordable. I wouldn't say cheap. There was nothing in our industry is cheap. A little bit more of an affordable camera or equipment, but then it's not as of the type of quality that a client would be expecting. And I think if we get to the younger, more experienced cameramen, I think the only thing that I would say is they just be straight up forward and honest with your client. I mean, if you do decide to go on your own, good luck and Godspeed to you. I hope you make a success out of it, but be honest with your client. If you know for a fact that you can't produce a TV-like video, don't promise that, because you're going to give the client a bad experience, and then you're going to affect the whole industry. Because that might be the client's first time coming to Africa, and he's excited to get a video because he wants to show his friends and family back home. Then he gets the video and it was not what he was promised, and then myself, for example, reaches out to him by coincidentally, say, listen, would you be interested? And the first thing he thinks of is like, gee, this
I had a bad experience.
So
Yeah. No, I think the guys should just, jump in with a company and start from the ground up. I think that'll help them a lot, because I mean, there's a lot of youngsters that reach out to us all the time, and we just don't have a place for everybody, and we don't have the time to train people up. So we're having now other production companies, cameramen that are leaving them for whatever reason. They're reaching out and they're freelancing now for a bunch of other companies, and I think that's fantastic. Because we've got our 7 permanent staff, and we're always looking for extra people. So instead of starting with a youngster that knows nothing, I don't always have the time to go out and train people. Go and do the course and then fall in with somebody and do a tag along. I mean, that's what we did. I mean, it was 2 cameramen, 1 hunt.
Yeah.
And then you saw how I filmed. That's how everybody should start. It'll smooth a lot of things out in this industry. And another question I get from cameramen is the tips. What can I expect as a tip? Berrie hates this topic, but it is something. I mean, we will talk about anything on this podcast. I mean, controversial, I don't care. So a lot of guys are, what can I expect for tips? Because I hear Tanzania, you're going to get fantastic tips. I mean, we've been to Tanzania and we got 0. Well, you do very well.
No.
Okay, you do very well. But I mean, we've had guys that go up and get nothing. And, I've been in this since the filming, since 2005, since my old man passed. And I have seen a change in people over time. The tips are getting less and less and worse and worse. So now you've got to look at it and be honest with these youngsters and say, listen, don't expect $1,000 tip on every safari. It happens with you, but you could walk away with 0. You could be like Berrie and go away for 3 months, but then you get 0 tips. I mean, it does happen. So these youngsters, they're expecting a lot more in tips than they do in salary wages. And I've also tried to put my finger on it. Why is it that the tips have become less and less over the years? And, you have cultural differences. You've got the Europeans versus Americans. And now you've got this nonsense in America where tip for everything, all this Gen Z nonsense. Everybody's just wanting a tip. So I think that might play a role in tips having a bad taste in a person's mouth. But I think times have changed. We know the European culture. If you get something, fantastic. But if you don't, we're not going to cry about it. So these youngsters that want to get into it, don't do it for the tips. Do it for the experience. Do it for the love of the industry. Do it for the bush. I mean, just get out there and enjoy your job. No, so pretty much, the youngsters, they mustn't come into this thinking they're going to get a lot of money. You know, you need to start somewhere and work on, I mean, like us, that's a little bit older, you know, you have to work on a budget. You've got a yearly, a monthly budget. Work on your salary. Don't work on your tips. Everybody, including the PHs, a lot of young PHs, that tips. Times have changed. It doesn't always work like that anymore. You've seen it in the States now with the, what do they call it? The tipping frenzy that's come out there on social media. It's horrible. It's horrible. It puts a bad taste in everyone's mouth. So there is space for a lot of people to join the industry. Just do it right. You know, don't come and cock things up for the rest of us. So we've spent so long trying to build up a good, reputable name in the industry. So if any of you are interested in using a video production company, just contact us. I'll give you a list of 5 top companies in the country, one of which will be our own. But I'll be honest with you and tell you exactly who to use. And they've got all different kinds of price points. Anything else you guys would like to add?
No, I think that one covers it beautifully.
Well, I think it was good. No, I'd just like to thank Jim Green for sponsoring this podcast of ours. I'm going to be working with them this year quite hard, so looking forward to that.
Put some miles in the shoes.
Yeah, some good stuff. But guys, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All the best for next season.
Can't wait.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Thank you very much.